Bly game 2. I know you guys didn't see it, but it was insane. I'm going to try and cast some of these games from replays, but honestly, this group itself has just taken a little while anyways. We'll see how we do. We're going to at least do one series from replays. We'll see what we do after that. And we'll put it up to a vote which series you guys want to see as well, with my own recommendation of what we should maybe watch. So I'm excited. Hopefully you're excited. It's just crazy in general, guys. What a way to have Group B of our European tournament go with 2,000 plus viewers. Amazing stuff as well. That's real. I mean, that really is awesome, because honestly, I didn't think this tournament was going to do so hot. But currently, it's outviewing our Korean tournament that we're having through the daytime, and that itself is insane. Just as so many of you are here, I'd just like to remind you that tomorrow is the playoffs for this event. So if you're enjoying these games, tomorrow is the playoffs, and they should be pretty freaking awesome as well, of course. As guys, to the top left-hand side, our Red Terran player from XED Sports, it is Clem. Still alive and fighting here in this tournament. And to the bottom right-hand side, the blue Zerg player is Bly. What happened to Namshar? Namshar had to forfeit, unfortunately. The day was just not good for him. And also, if you're wondering why Group A isn't completed, we have the tiebreakers for those tomorrow, 1 hour before the playoffs. Make sure you tune in from that 6 PM CEST and onward. Alright guys, so setting up into this ZVT and looking to see what will happen. Hatch and a gas coming down, but it was pool first. So Bly already opening with a couple of shenanigans here. I believe it was Bly to take down Clem the other day in the grand finals to go for SE2, just yesterday in fact. And we did watch that happening. Bly looked pretty good while taking Clem down, I'm not going to lie. He did a really good job of it and won that series 3-0? Or was it 3-1? It might have been a 3-1. No, it was a 3-0 actually. Bly looked great against Clem yesterday, so hopefully Clem has something of an answer. Because if not, we are in some trouble, in all honesty. Well, we are going to be seeing this SCV into the main to scout here early. Clem not going to take any risks. He does know it's a pool first, which means that his Reaper is just going to sit at home. It's just going to wait for the Lings to come in. And we are going to be seeing those couple of Lings arriving in the next couple of moments. Hey, RollGrand78, I see you in the chat. Thank you so much for the $5 donation earlier, man. Sorry, it was during the rebroadcast section of the stream, so I didn't get to see it at the time, but now that you're here, just wanted to say thanks. Do appreciate the $5, man. Thank you so much. Factory finishing up in the main base, and it is obviously able to jump onto the reactor very soon. We have another few moments before anything crazy happens, which means I'm just going to go a little bit sell out very quickly. I just want to remind you guys that these tournaments are made possible because of you guys supporting the stream. Whether you're hitting that follow button and tuning in more in the future so you can watch more ads and enjoy more StarCraft with us, whether you're spreading the word to help us grow in viewership, or whether you're just straight up a subscriber, donator, cheerer, support of the stream. You guys are helping to make these tournaments possible and these casts possible, so thank you and shout out to you guys. If you do want to support these tournaments, subscribing is the best way to do so. We directly take some of the sub money every month and put it into a fund with tournaments like this one being made out of it. So if you're enjoying this, do consider subscribing. It'll help us to put more on in the future. And don't forget that if you're a Twitch Prime user, subscribing is free, and you can essentially make more tournaments like this happen for free by using your Twitch Prime sub right here on the channel. You get bonuses such as replay packs as well, of course. Our most recent replay pack is about 4 days old and has over 100 replays in it. There's a new replay pack coming out tomorrow night for subscribers. So much going on for you guys. So do check it out. Great way to support and a great way to get more going down. Get more action going. Love it. Love it. Well, this ZVT is getting going though, so we can focus up on this now. So far, not much happening. Is this Cyclone Marine build again though? Bly is actually going to be the first player today, it seems, to actually make a set of units against this. He's making some Zerglings. His queens are already approaching towards the third base. So this is looking pretty good right now here for Bly in terms of being able to defend, although the Lings are going across the map, so maybe he's not aware of just how powerful this Cyclone can be. Obviously, we've seen it a couple of times already today, so keep our eyes out for this. There's a Banshee on the way out of the starport. The Marines and a Cyclo are going to unload and start working their way through the third hatchery, so dealing some damage right here. We are going to be seeing the units moving to the side. Pretty sure Clem can win this series and still not make it through to the playoffs. So I think if Clem wins 2-1, he's 6-6, right? And then if True loses to Snoot while taking a map, he'd be 6-5. Yeah, that's true. And then Snoot would be 3-1, and Bly would be... Yeah, but then Bly is also 6-6, so it would come down to something else. We'd have to figure it out. Alright, well, Reaper going to fight away here onto these drones in the middle line as the Lings do get a surround. And we are going to be seeing this lair finishing up in the next few moments. So lair finishing up very shortly. Cloak Banshee's on the way out. Again, this Cyclone Marines, they didn't kill the hatchery this time, but they're still on the map to apply some pressure. We actually see a lot of Hellions here. An armory coming up too. There's going to be a Hellbat-focused follow-up to this, almost definitely. And right now, Bly, he's making the Roach run, but it's not ready yet. 20 seconds for it to finish, then make Roaches. I'm a little bit concerned for Bly, actually. I feel as though these Hellions are going to become Hellbats, and I feel as though once they become Hellbats, this is going to become very worrying for Bly. I feel as though this third hatchery is under some real issue, because now the three queens on their own, they're not going to cut it. These Hellions are going to run on by to begin with. Armory not quite ready just yet. Clem pulls backwards. 20 more Lings on the way. Now the Cyclone Marines are going to start going onto the third hatch, so maybe Clem still has a plan for this here as Queens are pushing over to the right-hand side. Hellbats will morph in, and that's really going to distract Bly for the moment as this hatchery is still dropping down. Hellbats pushing forwards. These Queens having to run away. 12 drones already killed because it's a Cloak Banshee just going absolutely huge in the mineral line. Oh my god, we're going to be seeing these Lings continue to move on through this, and this Cyclone is surrounded. It will go down in the end. Hellbats going huge right now as 23 workers are being killed. This third base will survive, yes. This Banshee finally dealt with, it seems like, as these Hellbats will now go down, but 23 workers killed. Absolutely insane. Crazy stuff here by Bly. Really, really crazy that he lost so many workers, just didn't have Roaches in time. He's going to start rebuilding now, but this is already looking amazing here from Clem. And earlier today, when he put himself into a good position at the start of the game, he definitely didn't let it up. So, intrigued to see where we go from here. Well, that's not quite true. Against the Nidus network, he didn't do so great. But in other scenarios, he was pretty solid. So, I think right now, Clem's looking awesome. And a medevac loading up. Honestly, go across the map, hit this third hatchery, put some pressure on. It's dropping, this third hatchery. So, this third hatchery will drop down dead soon if you apply much more pressure to it. So, that's pretty crazy. And in the meantime, guys, just as this medevac comes across, I'm just a little bit late to show you the final moments, but Snoot just picked up game 1 against True. If he wins this series and Clem wins his series, Snoot will advance through this group in first place and go straight through to the semi-finals. Hive continuing on and along right now as Marines continue to pick away at a couple of these creep tumors. Roaches continue to come in over to the right-hand side, picking away at a few of these Marines as well. Bottom left, this hatchery would be taking some hits. We are going to be seeing a couple of supply depots coming up at the moment. Tanks sieged up here too. Infestor on the way out. Yeah, guys, I appreciate I'm probably not being correct on the round robins. It's kind of hard to cast and follow 2 games while also double checking it. When we have the result of Snoot versus True, then we'll know a little bit more for sure just what the results here from Clem would mean, of course. So that's going to be a lot easier for us at that point. As you will see, Marines stemming in. Lots of creep being pushed down, as we do have Roaches right now making their way through a supply depot roll-off to the right-hand side. Tank fires away and some Roaches taking some hits. More Marines stemming over. A lot of creep spread pushing out here from Bly off over to the right as well. So, able to push a lot of this creep away. Ultra's Cavern is on the way up here from Bly as well. Bottom left, a 4th hatchery is now finished to Clem. Is sort of just going to be having, sort of just sitting back for the moment, it seems. His upgrades are halted at 1-1. 2-2 is yet to start. Needs to make sure he doesn't forget that, because it is going to be a massive part of being able to trade effectively moving forwards. Still start +2 attack, +2 armor. We'll probably move on through as well very soon. Ultra's already on the way from Bly though, which is kind of insane off of such a low economy after the damage done by Clem in the earlier stages. It's a little bit crazy. WS continue to come up to the right hand side here. I mean, as Ultras come on the map, is Clem even slightly prepared to deal with Ultras? I don't think he is. These Ultras are pretty quick considering how much damage was dealt before. Maybe Clem should have kept up the pressure before now, take advantage of the fact there's nothing to shut down drops, etc. Feels like it's the sort of game where Clem should be consistently all over the map and there should be nothing to stop him. Because, yeah, I mean, what's going to shut down the drops? Hydras? No. Mutas? No. Nothing. Maybe a fungal growth and some Ravager Biles? Like, that's the best you can hope for. That's kind of crazy. Clem sees the Ultralisk, so he'll know what's coming up. He'll know what's happening. Still has these Marines to the left-hand side to move on through. And he is dropping around, but of course at the same time he wants to make sure he still has enough units at home to clean up. So needs to be a little bit cautious with the drops, as we will see a split from Bly. Clem makes a move down the left-hand side right now, and he will come forwards and pick off one of these queens, lift up, and looks as though that'll be it for the moment. These Marines in some trouble. Ultra is starting to swipe, and that's why you really do have to lift up, but it's giving Clem time to start up Liberator production. So Liberators are getting ready to go here. Liberators are setting up, and that obviously is going to help out a lot. So we're going to be seeing some Marines unloading just to the left side of this Ultras, and Roaches moving through. Marines do get taken down. Planetary Fortress in the center gets thrown on down here as well. So I mean, Clem, this is what he's buying time for, to establish this fourth base and to be able to hold this forward position with the Liberators. He still has a lot of tanks too, which honestly initially against the Ultras are going to be pretty good as well. 2-2 about to finish, and it looks as though Clem might be looking to do something with this 2-2. At the very least, he's going to move further forward. Still has 2 tanks defensively to the right side. Starting up more command centers as well, getting ready to replace command centers elsewhere if needed. Bane Nest and Aspire currently coming on up here, as we do see a little bit of the stim forwards. But of course, the Ultra base army for now is going to be just a little bit too strong. 11 Corruptors on the way up. A Great Aspire on the way up. A Viper on the way out too. And the Bane Nest is just over halfway done actually for the moment. And these 2 Medivacs going to come around the left-hand side, and the Zergling just patrolling around to see what's up. Up the right, Roach is going to move along as well, as this creep just pushing on forwards. The creep's kind of insane right now from Bly, I have to say. If nothing else, the creep is extremely impressive. I say if nothing else, but honestly the fact he go up to Ultras so easily after taking so much damage is very impressive for me. It was just insane, like, it's kind of mind-blowing probably the way he was able to get that done. A few Roaches to the right side, not finding themselves anything just yet. Bly going straight to this Great Aspire, so Broodlords, they're not really too far off here, as Clem, extra command centers finishing up, a couple of snipes somewhere. I actually have no idea what he just killed with those, maybe a couple of Roaches? Where on earth even are the Ghosts? There's 6 of them up. Looks like there's maybe just a couple of snipes out on this left side on the rocks. I really don't know where those snipes were, actually. I'm not going to lie. They sound like they're on the left. Anyways, Marines cleaning up some creep spread, as Clem's going to try and take this forward right-hand base. He also wants to try and take this upper right-hand base at the same time, so they're starting to make some progress there. These Roaches don't actually have any attack upgrades, but numbers will win out for the moment. Okay, now he's going to be sniping Corruptors. I can see these snipes coming in. He uses all the snipes and Corruptors though. Does he have enough snipes afterwards to kind of go on from there? Corruptors came through and just sniped down a few units. Honestly, with the Corruptors that went down, kind of feels like it wasn't too big a loss on either side, or too different of a loss on either side. Doesn't feel as though anyone benefited from it more than others. Third melee upgrade and Carapace coming through right here. And well, Clem just sat back, building up the Ghosts, building up the Libs, building up the tanks. We could be in for one hell of a final series here tonight, guys. And as we get this set up, the GC Corruptors already coming in, and Caustic spraying down at command center. But Clem comes over and saves it. I'm a little bit concerned about how much energy these Ghosts are using. Like, I know he's killing things, but it feels like he has no energy left for the Ultras and so on. Top right-hand side Planetary Fortress isn't going to be under attack. This is interesting because Bly is going to somewhat, corner himself in up here by going for this base. So Bly is a bit cornered in, and Clem, and it feels like he should have an answer to this, but what is his answer actually? Because how does he stop Bly from getting back out onto the map? Well, at the moment it seems like he just doesn't. Maybe a few cheeky snipes on the right, but there is going to be a Fungal Grove coming in. Oh, not just yet. Lands now, only grabs a couple of Ghosts in the front. Tanks will siege as he just run up this ramp. Corruptors coming forwards. I think the tanks are going to be plenty on the ground to really help out for the moment. It's the Corruptors that I don't really see a kind of a proper answer to at the moment, although that said, Bly continue to move his way forwards in this. He has a huge bank as well. I'm really just perplexed as to how Bly turned this around. Suddenly 24 SCVs just died. Bly with so much money in the bank. He's really ahead here, Bly. Like, Bly is really in one hell of a position. And Clem has to win this series to have any chance of moving through the group. We are going to have this army continue to get another snipe coming down. We are going to be seeing a Corruptor picked off for them just then. Plus 3 armor about to finish up from Clem. More Liberators on the way out. A couple more Ghosts. 4 more Ghosts, actually. So we'll stim on forwards. We are going to be seeing a couple of group units taken down already. Ravagers and an Ultra. Chasing those Marines away up the right-hand side. Units are going to continue trying to push on forwards here right now. tank just sieging on up and, well, Banes, Ultras, Corruptors. And maxed out Bly right here kind of feels as though it should be enough to make this happen, to make this work out. He's going to push forwards. It is a defensive position from Clem, and we have seen Clem hold defensive positions against Snoot earlier today. There's just so many Corruptors to take down the Liberators. The Vipers hit the Blind Clouds. Bly feels like he has an answer for everything in this army. Blinding Clouds, the Corruptors. In the end, he is still going to take a few snipes. He's going to lose a couple of Ultras at the end of this. Clem holds on, but the fact Clem's been denied bases again and again means that Clem's economy is really not looking brilliant, and so rebuilding for Clem is not easy. Bly rebuilds with 54 Zerglings. Maybe time to add some Banelings into play to try and help against some of these Ghosts, which are just sort of sat a little bit uncontested in these fights at the moment. What's up, Avagrove? Thank you so much for gifting a subscription, your first ever in the channel. Thank you so much. Gifting one out to Torify. Welcome Torify to the Wardy family. Some love in the chat for Torify. Thank you for gifting a sub, Avagrove. Signing up into slight stalemate at the moment. See these couple of starports finishing up that Lib range. And the Liberators on the way out. Issues with so many Corruptors on the map. The Liberators before weren't doing anything. Now he moves them into Broodlords, and is there an answer to the Broodlords? Well, I kind of feel like no is the answer to that. As Snoot, by the way, has just taken down True, and Snoot will finish this series 3-1, which means he will 100% advance through this group. And that was a 2-0, which obviously has some impact on this group as well. Broodlords continue to drop down Broodlings. These couple of tanks continue to drop at the moment. Bly still trying to press forwards towards the upper right-hand side. These Broods are going to get going at this once again. Things running on forwards here. The Marines are going to stem. The Ghosts are going to turn and fight. We're all going to be seeing these Banes taking quite a bit of damage. That tank firing away and lifts up into the medevacs here at the end to try and split the Ghosts up a little bit. Clem is again surviving, but maybe not really making any progress. Although these Ghosts, if they could chase down some Broods right now, issue is there's nothing in front of them, right? So the Broodlings are just going to cancel the snipes. The Broodlings just cancel the snipes, then, then what? Fifth base cannot be taken again by Clem. It's to the top right-hand side. Creep will block this area. So Creep currently blocking this position. 4 Infestors on the way up. 14 Banelings morphing in. Another scan coming down. So you do just have Ghosts on the way out. More Banes, more Creep. It's still just setting up right here, guys. As Bly is going to be coming up the right-hand side. Trying to set up and see just what's going to happen next. Marines, a couple of Ghosts cleaning out some of these troop tumors. Looks as though Clem will get some economy up once more. Resources lost is just slightly favourable to Bly. And well, as he comes forwards now, this might just be the end. These Ghosts are getting caught. There's Banes here as well, and there isn't enough to really get rid of the Banelings in time, I feel like. The Broodlers are going to slay away. So this base, actually, if the Banes go forwards on their own, maybe there is an opportunity for Clem to clean this up. We are going to be seeing the Banes just getting cleaned up pretty quickly, so again, Banes on their own don't quite get the job done. Planetary Fortress is somewhat holding the low ground. I mean, stuff is still being lost. These Ghosts really want to try and get a snipe off, but, well, there's the Fungal Grove. That might just end the game, and there it is. GG. Ghosts get caught in a is guaranteed out of this group now. Whoever is in first place, well, he's 3-1. So if Bly wins, Bly's current map score is 6-3. And I think that is now updated with Clem having lost the first map here. So Bly's map score is 6-3. So if Bly wins this game, he is 7-3, and he does have better map score than Snoot. If Bly loses, then obviously he doesn't go through. But yeah, Bly could advance in first place right here. Wow. That's kind of crazy. Wow, and if Snoot ends up in second place, he would be on the same side of the bracket as Harston in the playoffs. Wow. That's really something. Thank you so much, Big Bat Daddy and Goats, coming in for the cheer 500 and 2 in the end, saying thanks for streaming. Thank you so much for the bits, mate. Do appreciate it. Guys, let's do this. Up to the top, bottom left hand, down to the bottom left hand side. Our Blue Terran player at this point could be fighting to send Snoot through the group in first place. We have got Clem. To the upper right hand side, our Red Zerg is Bly. Alright, so setting up here, still 2,000 of you tuning in for this. We're about to hit the 10-hour marker of this stream. It's been a long one. So I do again appreciate you all sticking out with us here. and continue to be with us all the way through the day. We started 10 hours ago with that WardiTV invitation number 4 group, which Dark ended up topping just about in the end. But only just. Actually, no, I think Hurricane won the group, didn't he? Hurricane won the group, and then Dark came in second place, I think. Alright, well, setting up right here, we do see Link Speed on the way out from Bly. And we are going to be seeing the early game is a hatch gas pool, so no early game kind of Zergling shenanigans or anything like that. Factory-based play right now from Clem. So Clem can still influence this group, because if Bly loses to Clem here, he's guaranteed to get through on second place, but he's guaranteed to get through on second place, but he's wanting to get through on first place, and to do that he has to defeat Clem. He has to defeat Clem. Because this has really been one hell of a group, guys. These guys have been slogging it out for the last 4 hours already. There's just some Lings coming in. I mean, 2 Marines here already. Plenty to deal with this. But yeah, these guys have been slogging out for 4 hours already, and they have been some really crazy games. We've actually only had 2 2-0s so far out of 9 matches. Sorry, 3 2-0s out of 9 matches, which is really honestly pretty good. This obviously could be a 4th out of 10. That would still be not so bad. 2 Hellions heading towards the upper right side. 2 Queens are going to be sat here, and they're just waiting to do their job of pushing those couple of Hellions away. Armory on the way up right now. Clem going to go for a little bit of aggression. I can't believe Bly fought his way back into that game. I don't even know when it happened, really. Like, Bly took so much damage that game, and somehow just finds himself back in it, back on the run, making things work once again. I don't even know what to tell you. It was really crazy. So Medevac is setting up. The Hellions will get ready to drop in a couple different locations. He actually just push 6 Hellbats and 4 Marines. I think he just goes with everything in one place. Yeah, I think he does. And obviously we have a Liberator behind it to maybe come in to get more damage done after the Queens are out of position or so. I think it's coming into the natural though, and Bly's already dealing quite a bit of damage here. So Bly getting quite a lot of damage done as Hellbats and Marines will start to work their way through this third base at the moment. Starting to get some damage done. So third hatchery taking some hits. Queens will come through and the Hellbats taking some damage. And right now, Hellbats might run around nicely though by Clem. Rolling is on the way up. There's a couple of Hellbats off to the right side fighting against the Queen also, but Medevac can only see so many of the Hellbats at once, and it looks as though with more Lings this is going to start being the end of this attack, and Clem is already in trouble after losing 6, 7 SCVs at the moment. I mean, he didn't do enough across the map to lose 7 SCVs at home and be okay. And now more Lings are streaming across the map. The engineering bay was built to block off the wall in desperation, so he's actually lost access to one of his reactors. Clem is in real trouble right now. And these Lings are going to keep on coming over, and, well, they're going to get surrounded with some of these units on the low ground. And Clem, losing this definitely throws him out of the group no matter what. So, Bly, a little bit too good today. He does get the GG out of Clem right there. Bly takes the 2-0. He will advance through this group in first place because he just has the better map score out of everyone. Bly only dropped 3 maps in this right here. So, by Bly only dropping 3 maps, that's kind of insane. Snoot dropped 4, and that does make the difference. Snoot dropping a map to Clem, I think, probably made the difference between all of them.